Bienvenidos de regreso a Carolina Ahora. Soy Aaliyah Mitchell.
Y yo soy Kaya Johnson. Welcome back, Tar Heels. I hope everyone had a great spring break, including you.
Yeah, I was in Mexico for spring break.
And you were in Puerto Rico, where it was very warm. But luckily, it's warm still in Chapel Hill.
Thankfully so. It might rain today, but, what can you do?
What can you do? Back to some news.
We begin today with demands from protesters on campus.
A coalition of organizations, including UNC Students for Justice in Palestine and Transparent UNC, gathered on South Quad in part to speak out against ICE and DHS. Protesters gathered on the quad to oppose the presence of ICE and the Department of Homeland Security, among other things, yesterday. This comes after the detainment of Mahmoud Khalil, a Columbia University student, for his role in campus protests against Israel. President Trump wrote on social media, all federal funding will stop for any college, school, or university that allows illegal protests. Agitators will be imprisoned or permanently sent back from the country they came from. The Trump administration has not specified what constitutes an illegal protest, but says this is a safety and civil rights issue, not a matter of free speech. The protesters condemn both the Biden and Trump administrations for their handling of the Israel-Palestine conflict. They also criticized Chancellor Lee Roberts for his actions regarding ICE on campus. Organizers say they are standing in solidarity with activists they claim have been unjustly detained by ICE for their public activism. The chancellor has said the university would comply if ICE came on campus looking for undocumented immigrants. He also said in a letter to ALCU that UNC will do everything possible to support the 3,000 international students and universities at the university. The administration's latest immigration crackdown efforts are now of protests and legal battles. Miguel Rodriguez is joining us now with the latest strategy coming from the White House as it moves forward with mass deportation.
Gracias, Kaya. El presidente Trump ha implementado una nueva estrategia para llevar a cabo su plan de deportaciones masivas. Este fin de semana, el presidente invocó el Alien Enemies Act of 1789, el cual le permite al presidente detener y deportar extranjeros durante tiempos de guerra o invasión. Según la administración Trump, cientos de venezolanos fueron detenidos por presuntos vínculos con el grupo criminal Tren de Aragua. A pesar de la oposición de jueces federales, más de 200 personas fueron deportadas a un centro de detención en El Salvador. Trump celebró las deportaciones en su cuenta de Instagram, mientras que el presidente de El Salvador, Nayib Bukele, publicó un mensaje en la plataforma X que generó gran polémica. Además, Trump cuestionó a un juez federal que intentó bloquear la medida, sugiriendo que este debería ser imputado. El juez de la Corte Suprema le respondió en un comunicado oficial recordándole que el impeachment no es una solución para las diferencias judiciales. Ahora, miles de venezolanos temen por su estatus migratorio en el país. De vuelta con ustedes.
Gracias, Miguel. It's International Women's Month, and before we wrap up next week, we want to highlight a group of women on our campus making a difference. Omega Phi Beta is a Latina-oriented sorority established at UNC 14 years ago. The sisterhood focuses on women's empowerment, academic achievement, professionalism, service, and diversity. The sisters work with other minority organizations on campus to host community cleanups, trivia nights, and history workshops. Sorority President Delaney Gutierrez says she joined because of the sorority's commitment to women empowerment.
Yeah, so we just try to make a safe space for diverse non-men to, if they're looking for sisterhood or siblinghood, it's someplace we can provide that. Especially if they're looking into making an impact on your community, because I would like to say that our organization kind of provides that blank slate. And if there's something I see at U Carolina that I think is something we need to address, that's something our organization can do and create that programming.
We're celebrating Women's Month today, and we're celebrating food, bringing back our Pruébalo segment. I was in Puerto Rico last week.
And I was in Mexico last week, and we want to take you there through food. I was at a place called La Culacay, which is a Haitian restaurant in Tijuana. And don't worry, I still tried the tacos al pastor and elote. But with the growing Haitian population in Mexico, we found it fitting to try something new. Here's a snapshot from the owner herself.
Y el famoso arroz mixtos, lo que gustan todos los mexicanos, es arroz y frijol juntos con algún toque lactosa y el toque de la casa. ¿Sí?
Gracias. ¿Y cuál es su favorito de todos estos platos?
El picris con plátano y pollo.
Sí, wow, se ve muy rico.
Muy
Muchas gracias
rico.
por cocinar todo esto por nosotras. Muchas
Gracias, el placer es mío.
Now, of course, I had to try everything for myself. My plate was practically overflowing. Here's a look.
So now we have the food here. We have all these different flavors here under the chicken. We also have more. We have so many delicious looking things here. And I will say that my favorite is probably the rice. It is so good. It is so flavorful, and it has a little spice. So I think this is really great. If you want to take a look. This is actually what has the spice. This right here. This is what I was talking about with the spice here. Really good, really flavorful.
I guess my favorite word that day was flavorful, which perfectly describes how great the food was. Speaking of amazing Hispanic cuisine, Kaya, we know that you were in Puerto Rico, and I also heard you ate a lot of plantains. Can you tell us about that?
Yes. Mofongo, habichuelas, arroz con gandules son las comidas populares deliciosas de Puerto Rico. Para Spring Break pude viajar a Puerto Rico y probar la increíble cocina del país. Un restaurante se lleva la palma de la auténtica comida puertorriqueña, el jibarito, en el viejo San Juan. La mesa pidió una mezcla de camarones, mofongo, plátanos pastillos y más. En Puerto Rico, el plátano es un alimento y ingrediente muy popular y principal de mofongo. Para hacer mofongo se machan plátanos verdes fritos, se las agrega ajo y aceite de oliva y a veces chicharrones. Cuando los conquistadores españoles controlaban Puerto Rico en los 1500, ellos traían personas de África Occidental para trabajar en las plantaciones. Los que vinieron de África Occidental trajeron un plato similar hecho de plátanos, llamado fufu. Con el tiempo, el plato heredó el sabor nativo y español y se convirtió en mofongo. Si tienes la oportunidad de probarlo, te lo recomiendo.
Bueno, pues debo ir a Puerto Rico, comer mofongo, conocer a Bad Bunny, algo así.
Sí, speaking of Puerto Rico.
And speaking of Bad Bunny, Calvin Klein revealed Bad Bunny as the new face for its new spring underwear campaign.
Benito said he's excited and grateful for the opportunity to be a part of this brand's iconic campaign, and getting to shoot in Puerto Rico made it that much more special and genuine.
I really liked Bad Bunny's photo shoot that he just did with Calvin Klein. That was really good. I think I really liked his little dance that he did in the video that they posted. And I also love how my For You page on TikTok is literally talking about Bad Bunny.
The beginning and the end is crazy. Like, you see him zip up his pants and then almost see his great ad.
Oh, wow. I don't know if I will be watching that part, but what about you, Kaya?
I don't know. I haven't seen it yet. Haven't made up my mind. And speaking of other things that ate, UNC sports have been doing amazing. We have Anna Lively on the latest on sports.
Buenos días. Es un fin de semana emocionante para los programas de baloncesto de Carolina, ya que la locura de marzo está oficialmente en marcha. The UNC men's basketball team already has a win under their belt this week after earning the last spot in the field of 68 teams. As one of the first 4 teams, UNC absolutely dominated San Diego State Tuesday night as they took home the victory 95-68. While it hasn't been the smoothest final season for RJ Davis in a Carolina uniform, Davis showed what many fans knew he was capable of with a breakout performance, notching 26 points with a perfect 6 for 6 on threes. The Tar Heels proved all the naysayers wrong, becoming the first team in NCAA tournament history to score 95 or more points, shoot 50% or better from the field, shoot 50% or better on threes, and shoot 85% or better from the free throw line, all in the same game. The men's next challenge will come when they face number 5 seed Ole Miss this afternoon at 4:05 p.m. in the round of 64. Now, the road to March Madness looks a lot different for the UNC women's basketball team. After earning a number 3 seed on Selection Sunday, they will host the first and second rounds of the NCAA tournament games for the first time since 2015. They are only one of 7 programs with 32 or more NCAA tournament appearances, and they're looking to make a deep run in 2025 as they take on 14 seed Oregon State on Saturday at Carmichael. If they beat Oregon State, they will play on Monday night at home with a Sweet 16 berth on the line. Aaliyah, I know I'll be watching these games. Which one are you most looking forward to?
I'm looking forward to everything. Thanks so much, Anna.
And good luck to our Heels this Friday.
Bueno, gracias por ver a Carolina Ahora. Asegúrate de seguir nuestro Instagram en Carolina Ahora UNC.
Sintoniza el próximo martes para ver otro programa.